Hi Sagittarius and welcome to your reading. Okay, what does Sagittarius need to know? What does Sagittarius need to know? And there was an explosion. Okay. Okay, yeah, that's all of them. Okay, so let's see what we have for you, Sagittarius. This one is not something you need to know. No. Side message. Wait. Present moment or current energy? This is the present day energy, okay. Wait. Present moment, okay. This is side. No. No. This is side note. Okay, what else for what can't... Okay, I apologize for that, Sagittarius. What else for what Sagittarius needs to know? What else does Sagittarius need to know? Take this one as well, okay. Wait, this? Leave it where it's at, okay. No. Side note. Alright, Sagittarius, this down here is your side messages, but we're not going to get into that until after the main spread. That being said, you have the Four of Earth, Perception, Eight of Earth, Ace of Fire, the King of Air, the King of Water, Death and Rebirth, and the Ten of Fire. Nice. For the energy you're currently moving in, you have the Four of Earth. Yeah, slow and steady takes the slow and steady wins the race. You're taking momentary breaks when they're needed. And in those short periods of time, you may be taking time to self-reflect, look back, just to get an overview of where you started at and where you're currently now standing. Note the progress that you made, the obstacles you've overcome, the challenges yet ahead, but it's like you're learning from the past. It's like you're learning from your past mistakes. You're learning from how you overcome the previous challenges. and using them as a guide to figure out the ones that have yet to come. Whatever you're doing, whether you're working on yourself, reintegrating with your family, building a new friend group, progressing in your job or career, you're doing it gradually. You're not throwing yourself all into it, but being more balanced out, understanding that at times you do need a break from friends, you do need a break from family, you do need a break from work, mentally, emotionally, and physically. Yeah, some people have trouble disengaging. Just because you're not physically at work anymore doesn't mean your mind isn't still there. But Sagittarius, you don't necessarily have that issue, or at least not to the same degree you may have had it in the past. Yeah, you're building the understanding that when it's time to take a break and disengage, even though it's something that you're working on for yourself, like again, reconnecting with your family, building a new friend group, progressing in your work and career, even though it's something you're doing for yourself, even you need a break from it at times. Just take care of you, make sure you're in a right state of mind, right state in your physical being, that your health is secure, that your mind is right, your emotions are in balance before taking the next step forward. Okay, so it comes across where self-care is a big thing here, and you're taking care of yourself very well, or at least better than what you used to be in the past. Now, for the energy in your natural environment, you have perception. Yeah, you may be changing the way you perceive the world around you. This can be different for everyone, Sag. You're looking at your friends differently, certain family members differently, and the role you play in the family dynamic. You're questioning your role and responsibility at your job. Is this really all that I'm good for? Is this really as high as I can go? Is this the best place for me? Am I satisfied in this position? So yeah, you're asking the tough questions. Things you may have never thought to challenge anymore before, but it's like at some point in time you started looking at things differently. I'm hearing the higher you elevated, the broader your mind got, the broader the mind, the more open-minded you are, the more likely you're able to consider all the possibilities, seeing a piece of the puzzle from every different angle, seeing the big picture from all possible sides to get a clear and better understanding of the true depth of the message it entails. So yeah, in order to understand your role in the family, your role in the friend group, or the reason why you're even friends with a particular person, you're looking at it from all sides, past, present, future, who you are now, how the ways you've changed, the ways you remain the same, the way they changed and grown, and if you're too similar or too different, if you're still in alignment with each other, or if you've grown past the person. In regards to work, you may be questioning your own capabilities, if whether or not you're right for a certain job, or if there's more that you could be doing, and if so, why aren't you doing it? Yeah. Because you have a change of perception, you're calling a lot of things in your environment into question and seeking out the answers. What works in your favor, though, is you take pride in the accomplishments, the strides you've taken to get to where you're currently at. You feel accomplished with yourself, and you take pride in the victories, whether they're big or small. Yeah, there's no such thing as victory too small. Especially when you made sacrifices and difficult changes to achieve that victory. So there may have been certain things you had to let go of. You're aware of what you had to let go of, what changes you had to make, new habits you had to adopt, but for your own sake. You're seeing yourself as a whole new you. Wait. And for some of you, you may still be looking back at who you were, how you was in the past, compared to now, and instead of disregarding it or dismissing it, you're still choosing to learn from it. There's a valuable lesson you can still learn from your old toxic habits. Because by dissecting them and picking them apart, it can help you get to the root of a problem. So you may be some of you may be focusing a lot on your own personal self-growth. Sure, you're rebuilding, you're reconnecting, you're redefining yourself, but a lot of it could stem from your own personal accomplishments and achievements within yourself. Now, again, that may be for some of you, not all of you. As well as in your present moment, you have the Ace of Fire, new motivation and passion. You're learning where to direct it. For some of you, you may be directing it towards unanswered questions, a side hustle, new career, new pathway that may have opened up for you. For some of you, a new door may have opened for you, whether it be, a new door some way, somehow related to your career or related to either your career or your finances. Because even though this is the Ace of Fire, it's like I'm hearing a new business opportunity. So you could be setting out on your own path, doing something that has a financial gain for you, but it's something that you're motivated about, passionate about, something that allows you the freedom of doing you and not restricted to the policies of a corporate. So yeah, you may be working outside the typical career workforce for some of you, but for others, there is seriously something that caught your eye, caught your attention, and you want to work towards it, build towards it. It could be a brand new idea. Still a business venture where you're marketing something, you're putting yourself out there, where you can be noticed, gain attention. For some of you, maybe if not an entrepreneur nowadays, what is it? Content creator, influencers. Some way, somehow, you are gaining attention from people. And it's through something you actually do, something you enjoy, something that has meaning to you. I'm also hearing physical fitness trainer, so if some of y'all are into fitness and physical health, maybe even diet and nutrition, if you're not putting out free information, you may be offering that as a skill set and using that as well to your financial advantage. Anyway, based on the current energy that came out for you, there's one of three potential paths or course of action you may take based on the current energy. The first being the King of Air. You are very good with your words. You're not blunt, but you're someone who's very straightforward and to the point. What you say can be misinterpreted as blunt, but no, it's more of you being very, very direct, if not overly direct. Make clear your stance and position on a certain topic. Yeah, again, it's coming off like when you speak, people will listen. Not because you're charismatic, not because you're charismatic or charming. It's more of you're speaking the truth that people need to hear. You're saying something that you're maybe talking about something that's controversial because you're telling the truth about something that not everybody will freely admit. They have the same point of view, but they won't admit it out in the open for fear of backlash. For those of you who resonate with this path or course of action, you may even be listening to your opposition, or just simply someone who would argue against you. Take note of their position, the points that they make, and try to find a way to refute it. Like your logic versus mine. Yeah, your logic versus mine backed with passion. With this, you seriously mean what you say, and you're not being nasty about it. You're not being nasty, you're not being mean, you're not being rude. You're being straight up honest and just... And again, being that you're passionate about it, it has meaning to you. You may be in the public eye about it some way, somehow, whether it be through a podcast, you're a content creator, I'm also hearing talk show. Have your own personal platform, whether it be TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, and all the other platforms that may be available. I don't know, this is just the one that I know so far. Can say off the top of my head, but yeah. Regardless of what platform you use, you are getting your message out there. Not to be an asshole about it, but just admitting the truth amongst the lies you hear every day. With the second path or course of action, you have the King of Water. You are playing to your strengths if you resonate with this path or course of action. Some of you may be highly intuitive. And maybe using your emotions as a sounding board. Like, your emotions dictate the topics that you're passionate about, that speaks to you, that drives you, but at the same time, you're not letting your emotions get in the way of delivering the facts. That's where your logical thinking, rational brain steps in and highlights the main details of what needs to be addressed, what needs to be talked about. So it's similar to the King of Air path, but you're doing it in a different manner. instead of speaking out, it's more of you're taking a step back and listening. To those that are like-minded with you and those that are most likely to disagree with you. You're hearing arguments from both sides of things that are important to you, matter to you, that may have an impact on how you're seen later in the future. But you're not taking it to heart. You're keeping your emotions in check. You're just using your emotions as a guide for what it is you want to say, what it is you want to talk about, what it is you want to address, and who you're going to bring it up to. But because you're able to keep your emotions in check, you're able to create a sound plan of the issues that are of major concern, why they're concerned, who you raise these questions and concerns with, whether you're going to, whether you're having this addressed on the state level with your state representatives, yeah, Sagittarius, yeah, okay. In the words of spirit, how do you want me to say this? All of y'all are going through a different situation, but y'all are basically addressing the situation in the same way, bringing it up to someone in authority. Whether that be with your school or school district, how they create policies and procedures that may affect you or your children directly, your state council members, and political state council members. See, that is the only one I can actually remember at the time. Who else would it be for state? And this is so probably sad on my part. Because what Spirit is trying to get at is like, if you have state to state level or higher, you are going to raise these issues. You are going to bring it up. How? Because the emotion that's driving you. And there's a lot of different issues that are being talked out today. Ooh. Regardless of what you're passionate about or what it is that's affecting you or what it is you have to say, the message you have to give, you are bringing it up with someone who you believe is an authority that has the power to make changes on your community's behalf to address these concerns, because you're not the only one. You've been listening to multiple sources. Again, you're listening to people that may agree with you and those that would argue against you. So you have the facts from both sides. You have the statements from both sides, the arguments from both sides. And you have a counter argument for those that would oppose you. Lastly, for the last path or course of action you can take, you have the death and rebirth. You are going through a major transformation. You're all over again. You may have already recently had one in the past, but if you resonate with this path or course of action, you may be going through another one again. You've been working real hard to progress yourself, advance your knowledge, change your way of thinking, level and overall level up. You made several changes on the inside, but what are you going to do about the outside? The outside is a reflection of you. So yeah, this may also have more so with your environment, your friend group, family members that you either connect with or maybe having fallen out with because you're no longer in alignment or on the same page the same way you used to be. Even when it comes down to your work and career, like you're questioning, why am I here? Your transformation is now more on the external than the internal. So certain friends you may be losing, family members you're cutting off, reconnecting with some family members that you didn't fuck with in the past, but now you do because you two are now more so on the wavelength. More so on the same wavelength. Any friends that you've outgrown or elevated past are now falling away to the wayside in favor of a new friend group that can meet you where you're at. Or may even be above you in some aspects, and you're okay with that because there's something that can be learned from them. Whatever this new inspiration is, motivation, business venture that can be good for you financially, whatever it may be, alright, you drew my attention to it. How exactly you want me to phrase? Because you've done the inner work, you now have everything you need. You have the tools required to see this through to the end. Before your previous transformation, you wouldn't even think to consider this new opportunity that can be a financial benefit to you. For some of you, you may have thought it was below your means. Others of you may have thought you're not ready for it. Yeah, you may have talked a good game where you can do this, you got it, but when push come to shove, you would have walked away from it or sabotaged it. Now lastly, regardless of the path or course of action you take, what you can expect for the upcoming weeks is the 10 of fire. You have accomplished self-mastery. You've done the hard labor to break yourself down to your core and build yourself back up again, doing the inner work, taking pride in the trials and tribulations, and now you are a beautiful masterpiece. A well-crafted work of art well-crafted work of art that shows proof that you've done the work. You've taken the time and you have the necessary skill to mold yourself into the state of being you desire. But the way it comes off is that it's not just internal but also external, whereas you've done the work on yourself internally, so now it's showing externally where people can stop and look at you and they notice there's something about you, there's something different. You just stand out more than the rest. And quite possibly when you do the work to heal yourself and work on yourself and improve yourself, your energy is gonna feel different than the average person who's still in denial about their trauma, who hasn't worked on themselves, who isn't doing the inner work to heal their past trauma. The energy is going to be different, and because you did that inner work, your energy feels different. So some people might naturally be gravitating towards you or see your worth, see your potential without even knowing you. Alright, so let's clarify for Sagittarius. Can we please clarify? Take it or leave it. Leave it. Let's please clarify for Sagittarius. Put it back in the deck. Alright. So what is for Sagittarius in terms of clarifying? Come on. Okay, let's see what we have for you. This, not something you need to know. Wait, this goes where? King of Water. Wait. Earth, air, or fire? None of the above? Okay. Oh, side message. This is main or side? Side. Wait. Is it King of Air or... It's not a side message, so where? Fire, earth, or air? Thank you. This is not something you need to know. Okay, so Spirit only wants to clarify the past. Okay, so for those of you who resonated with the King of Air, it's clarified by the Ace of Swords. Yeah, so you're taking a new direction. The course you used to walk on is something that's no longer for you. It's like your attention is being drawn towards something. And the moment you take notice, you start heading in. You start heading in that direction and deviate from the path you're already on. With the understanding it's not for you, that's not going to lead you to any place. Whereas the direction that caught your eye, you take an interest in, that has it's like it has a greater goal for you to achieve. Something that needs to be addressed. So yeah, what you didn't take notice before, you're taking notice of it now, and that could be what's prompting you to speak up and out about something. Whether you've had it, enough is enough. You feel like someone's being discounted, passed over, underrated, second guessed, ignored, diminished. You're heading in that new direction and being the voice for the little guy. Whereas if you feel like something's not quite right, someone's speaking lies, or simply saying things that's not true, taking things out of context, you're quick to correct the situation, but again, you're doing it as a public figure. So you may be a content creator, created a podcast, have your own social media platform, again, whether Instagram, YouTube, TikTok, or any other platforms available, you are using it to speak out openly and honestly against the things that you're seeing and hearing. They're just not true, they're inaccurate, they're being misrepresented to push an agenda. Now, this may be at work, with family, or with friends, because it can happen in any situation. With friends, someone twisting the truth and lying through their teeth, manipulating the facts, or someone constantly being talked down to, overlooked, bullied, and you finally said enough is enough. Whereas with family members, it could be a similar situation where no one's truly blameless, but there's a lot of blame going around towards either a particular group, a particular age group, or a particular person. For some of y'all, for some people, it could be the black sheep of the family. Yeah, enough is enough. We're not going to keep on using this. We're not going to keep on using them as a scapegoat for all the things that's gone wrong in your life. When who's to blame? Hold yourself accountable for the shit you do. Ooh. And in terms of work, finally someone has to say the policies and procedures are just full of shit. You don't care about us workers, just how hard you can push us and how hard you can work us to maximize profits. So whether it's with work, family, or friends, you're speaking out openly and honestly about something because your attention is finally being drawn to it. Like, enough is enough. Someone gotta say it. King of Water clarified by the Nine of Pentacles. Yeah, with this, you're not standing for something. You're looking at the present moment. You feel it's something you have time to enjoy, but right now, it's like the present moment, when it's just you staying alone, it's alright, it's fine, it's enjoyable. But when you look at society and your part in it, how it makes you feel, it's like throw the whole world in the garbage can. Oh. It's like you have a start from scratch energy, throw out what's not needed and call people out and recognize when they're doing too much. So yeah, whether it's friends, family members, or work, certain policies and procedures, even household rules, you're not enjoying it, you're not liking it, you're not loving it. They gotta go. And again, whatever it is that's pissing you off is strong. It has an emotional reaction in you. And you're using that emotions as fuel to dictate what you want to speak on, but you're using your logical brain, your logical rational thinking. Not letting your emotions get in the way to plan out what it is you want to say, how you're going to address it. And you're speaking to someone with authority, whether it be the person that owns the apartment or house, your boss, your supervisor, or manager, your boss, or whoever's over them, to address the situation and fast. But for others of you, even though it doesn't feel like a lot of you, y'all were coming out the strongest. Where it's a societal issue, you're talking out the policies and procedures that just outright make no sense, needs to be thrown in the trash, thrown in the garbage. Like, who fucking approved this? And what world, whose illogical, irrational brain allowed them to make this law, make this decision, put this policy in place when it comes to... Oh. And still you're going to someone who you believe is in the power of authority to address these changes and do what's right for the community. For those of you who resonated with death and rebirth, the tower, but it comes across where you've had more than one tower moment already. But this one is different. It focuses more on the external. Okay, perception could have been a catalyst for this tower moment. Because now that your perception is changing and you're challenging things, and you're challenging your outward experience, your friends, your family group, your job, your career, once again, it's like life as you knew it is crumbling down. Nothing really makes sense at this present moment in time with the friends you choose to have around, because you may no longer be in alignment with them. The family members you used to fuck with, you don't fuck with them like that anymore. Instead, you find yourself relating more to the family members you thought were snobbish, standoffish, quiet, and stay to themselves. But really, I'm not getting it. They stay to themselves because they don't fuck with the rest of the family, because they understand they're not on the same wavelength with the rest of the family. And you're kind of not on the same boat. With your work, for some of you, you may end up quitting. You may end up leaving or transferring to a different department that can better accommodate you or fits more with your capabilities. Ooh, this is a lot, Sagittarius. But you've had a lot of growth and development to come this far. A lot of growth and development, and came very far. Now, in regards to your side message, you have the Counselor, 3 of Water, the 9 of Fire, and Self. You also have the Empress and the 5 of Swords. If you have a Leo in your life, or you have a Leo placement, you might want to check out their reading just a little bit. And I say that because the Empress and the 5 of Swords, they got this as their side message as well. But for them, it pertained to a person in their life. So if you either have a Leo in your life or possibly a Leo placement, yeah, you may want to look into that reading. But if not, anyway, back to you, Sagittarius. With the Counselor, 3 of... You may be seeking out advice and moving in union with somebody. Not to say that you're in sync with them, it's just that they may be more in alignment with you. Someone who's been celebrating your victories even though they don't necessarily stand with you or alongside you. Comes across more of someone in the background, cheering you on from the sidelines, but they are someone who's gone unnoticed. You may be going to them either for advice or emotional support. But in regards to the 9 of Fire and Self, it's just another confirmation that you are You are seeing the beauty and the worth within yourself, how far you've come, how much you have grown. You're protecting your peace and your inner beauty from those who may want to dismantle it. So if there's people around you that's trying to tear you down because of the growth you made, you're sitting lovely. You're happy with yourself. You're okay with yourself. You take pride in yourself. And it's not just a superficial level being that you've done the work. You are confident who the fuck you are. So if somebody tries to say anything to make you feel less than, you're not going to take it to heart. You're not going to let it get to you. Because you know it's fake. You know it's not true. Because you finally see yourself for who you are and crafted yourself. You took the time to craft yourself into the person that you want to become. Some of you still have some way to go, but you are no longer anything like the person you used to be. You are far from it. You also have the Empress and the Five of Swords. If you feel like someone around you is jealous, trust that instinct, because you are coming off as the Empress. You are someone who is worth knowing, worth having around. You just carry overall a good energy. It's like, it's not the same as it once was, and it's way better than the energy that surrounds you. Like, if you can be one person in a crowd of 100, and yet someone who is on your same level, they will easily be able to spot you in the crowd, find their way towards you, because your energy is unmatched by those that are around you. You are kind, caring, honest, generous, loving, nurturing. You speak the truth. You don't cover up your insecurities with little white lies. You admit your faults. And someone around you is hella jealous of the person you are. But again, you took the time to work on yourself, and it's coming across where they're sitting in stagnant energy, where they're lying, deceitful, make it try to seem like you're not all of that, or may even try to throw your past in your face and bring it up to the public eye, but you're not that person anymore. Will you admit that's how you used to be? Yeah. Because you're honest with yourself and you're honest about yourself. At the end of the day, they might end up looking stupid. And seen for what they are. But anyway, Sagittarius, this is the reading that I have for you. I do hope you liked it, or at least gained some insight from it. That being said, I shall catch you in the next one. Bye, Sag.